Hello, pals. Palomore here, and unfortunately, I'm really sick. I'm losing my voice. Usually in my intros, I like to be very high energy. I like to be like camping, intense. But for today's video, I'm just going to kind of jump to it. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the main differences between good sub rogue players and bad sub rogue players, specifically in Arena, and we're going to be talking about how to get better at that. Anyways, let's jump right into the video. Okay guys, so thank you for tuning back in. In today's video, the main thing we're going to be talking about is how to play sub rogue in your downtime. So what I mean by this is, every single sub rogue, whether you're very new, you're very high rated player, whatever it is, every sub rogue knows how to do burst damage. Okay, they know how to pop all of their cooldowns and do a ton of damage, and they know how to use their defensives and run away. But there's always this awkward downtime kind of middle window in PvP, and that's something that newer sub rogues are really struggling with. So the way I decided to do this video is by actually looking at a couple of games I've played in both 2v2 and 3v3. I'll do kind of a live commentary over top, and we'll talk about some of my thought processes during the game and explaining how to manage this in-between downtime window. And hopefully you guys can have some good takeaways from this video and learn some really good stuff. Okay, so one thing I want to clarify before we get too deep into anything is kind of establishing the difference between downtime and an actual kill window, or what a lot of high-rated players like to call a go. And basically, the difference between downtime and that is going to be downtime is when you don't have CC on the enemy team's healer, you're not using your burst damage, you don't really have potential to land a kill. Whereas, doing a go is where you are trying to land CC and use your burst. So with that covered up, I guess the only other thing to really mention is please don't take any of this gameplay too seriously. This is random 2v2 footage and 3v3 games that I've got recorded so I can use them as examples. Alright, so let's go back to the start of the game now that we have that set down. So first game, we're playing against Unholy DK and a Holy Pally. So right off the bat, first thing to notice, if you look at the enemy team's Gladius up here in the corner, we have a stun on the DK and we have a sap on the healer. This is a go. This is not downtime. This is where we're applying pressure. So, we have CC on the healer. We're using our burst. This is the part that generally is a lot easier to learn as a sub rogue or any player to Arena in general. So, just watching the clip, we're doing burst. I go to blind off of the sap. Clearly, I'm not the best rogue. Takes me a second to get there. And the Pally trinkets. So two things can happen here. We force the trinket off the healer. I could either try to extend more CC on the healer, maybe throw a kidney shot on him, or I can do a bit more burst to the DK. But in a way, since their healer has traded a cooldown with me on my cooldowns, this is kind of the end of the go, and this is what starts pushing us into our downtime window. So you'll notice really quickly, instead of having all the control, the game's going to start to change a little bit. So, they throw a Hodge on our healer. The Pally goes for a Repentance. I believe I tried to kick him, but I was too far. And you'll notice what I'm doing right here. This is what sub rogues need to learn to do is, if I go face to face with this Unholy DK and we're fighting each other, I am not going to win that fight. I have burst windows. I am not a warrior. I'm not a DK. I'm not going to sit there and be able to trade him good amounts in a straight up fight with each other. So what am I doing? I'm ready for my healer to be repented. I'm trying to kite the DK. Clearly, their DK broke the Repentance anyways, but this is what I'm doing. I'm basically going for a re-stealth. I'm creating distance. I'm giving myself kind of a grace period for my healer is going to be CC'd since I was unable to stop the Repentance. Anyways, one thing we'll notice now is if you're watching the diminishing return trackers on Gladius, the healer's off stun DR now, and he's able to be full stunned into potentially a Hex or something like that. So this is where we're kind of shifting back out of the downtime window into, an aggressive go. So, tip number one for playing in the downtime is going to be kiting, okay? As a sub rogue, you're not going to be spending your downtime like other classes like a Feral Druid, Warrior, DK, any of those things. You're not so much about having sustained pressure. You're about having really effective goes where you're going to cross CC and do a lot of burst. So as you can see, I'm using Shuriken Storm a lot to build combo points. Same energy cost as Backstab. And something else I did right here, you'll notice I got an Anima point Rupture up on my target. because Rupture is a dot that's going to do a lot of damage over time, not so much burst. So if you're in this in-between window, it's really good to get a Rupture up and maybe even throw a Slice and Dice up. Obviously, Slice and Dice is going to be less valuable, but to maintain your bleed and your self buff there, that could help to do in the downtime. But really, I wouldn't focus on doing these things when you're bursting. Anyways, I'm just kind of waiting here, kind of ramping up my combo points, making sure that my healer is going to be able to hex off my go. So here I go. I can already tell what I'm going to do. I'm going to get full combo points, and I'm going to look for the healer. I get the full kidney. He grips me down, and I get the stun on him right away. Hopefully my healer follows up with a hex. I believe I wasn't sure if he would or not, so I put the DK into a shadowy duel. Anyways, I'm doing as much as I can during the shadowy duel. And I believe when I come out of this, the healer did hex, so props my man. My bad for not trusting in him. He throws a second hex on him, it looks like, and we force the bubble and sack out of the pally. So what does this mean? This means we're back into our downtime window. So you'll notice immediately, the second the pally bubbles and sacks, I don't stick around. There's no point being there. Nothing's going to die. The pally's going to be able to keep him up. No matter how tempting it looks, I just go to run to preserve as much mana as we can, preserve our defensive cooldowns, and just stay alive. So you'll see I start running, throwing Shuriken Storm into his bubble, getting combo points there. It's always good to get combo points every single time you can. You want to utilize your energy. And my healer's good. Their cooldowns are down. I'm trying to maintain a bit of DPS, but I'm really not doing anything crazy here. You notice I put up a Slice and Dice. I put up another 7-point Rupture with the Anima point. Right here, my healer gets Repentance. He trinkets it. I didn't know if he had Trinket or not, so I just vanished, and I'm playing it slow. I'm just letting him heal us up. There's no point in forcing this window. They don't have cooldowns regardless. If I wait 5 seconds or 2 seconds, it doesn't matter. I come in, get the full kidney again, and back into the double CC right there. And I believe this time we have enough DPS to finish him off. I actually sap off the kidney. Very nice. But anyways, just a good little example there. A couple of those downtime windows. You can really see Sub Rogue is about, running away, maintaining your Slice and Dice and Rupture, maybe getting ready. But really, the way you're playing Sub Rogue in between your goes is you're setting up your next go. You're playing proactively. You're thinking, can I die? If I can die right now, where do I need to be? I need to run away. Is my healer CC'd right now? I need to hide. Am I about to burst on the target? Do I have a Rupture on them already? I should get a Rupture up right now so I can do the most DPS in a small window. Another small takeaway is kind of thinking about, what is the right timing to start a second go or to start a third go? And, the biggest thing that's going to indicate this is just paying attention to your offensive cooldowns. You need to make sure, do you even have enough burst damage? Do you have a Shadow Dance? Do you have Symbols of Death? Do you have something that can force cooldowns out of the enemy team? And then the other biggest indicator is just diminishing returns themselves. So if you're playing Mark for Death Kidney, every 30 seconds, you're going to be able to get a full 6-second stun on the healer. Sometimes it's a little buggy, but you can sometimes sap off of the kidney. And then also if you have teammates like mages, priests, hunters, all these kinds of other classes, they can follow up off your stun with other CCs like traps, fears, polymorphs. Okay guys, so going into game number 2, this time I'm playing with a priest and we're playing against warrior priest. I want to say I know a lot of the rogues right now. They're struggling with these plate wearer teams, especially DK, Ret, and Warrior. So hopefully this one can give you some insight. But same thing, right off the bat, we are on the rogue. We have control. We're going to go in. We're going to throw a kidney on the healer, and we're going to throw a cheap shot on the warrior, and we're starting that double CC. We are rogues. We have a lot of instant access to stuff. We kind of control the start of the game on our opener. So usually I'll go for either a sap or a kidney into a blind and sap or into a blind and a kidney, whatever it is. But anyways, right off the bat, we're going to force the trinket off the priest and the warrior, and it looks like the warrior's also popping some minor defensives, so nothing crazy, but he's going nuts on my healer. So one thing you'll notice a bit different this time is I haven't started running away yet, and that's because unlike the game versus the DK, the warrior is attacking my healer. If the warrior is attacking my healer, I don't really need to go run away and hide all the time because I'm not the kill target. Instead, I'm going to chase him. I'm going to keep crippling poison on him. I'm going to peel him off my healer as much as I can until the DRs are back up so I can get that CC again. So clearly, he's not the best warrior. He's popping Die by the Sword and his banner randomly, but it is what it is. He reconnects on my healer. Very nice barrier there, Zen. And looks like their healer comes in. So we're really low here, but what do? We don't panic. We turn the pressure back around. So once again, just recapping that whole downtime we watched. What did I do? I put CC on the healer. I put CC on the warrior. We did burst. We got a ton of cooldowns, and all I did was I just followed behind the warrior, and I did damage to him, kept him off my healer. This will vary. If the warrior is doing burst to me, am I going to play like this? Probably not. I'm probably going to try to move towards his priest so I can get set up for the next CC, or I'm going to run away, depending on how it looks. Anyways, I go ahead, I stun the priest, and I get the dance and the stun on the warrior, and I'm just returning the pressure. Ideally here, my priest would have been able to fear off my kidney, but we didn't get that there. So what am I doing? I'm just gluing myself to the warrior, and what it's doing now is forcing him to turn on me. So you'll notice, like I just said, I'm looking to play towards his priest, so when I can kidney shot, I don't have a hard time getting to the priest. So I drop a smoke bomb to pull the priest in. Nice little trick there. And I actually shadowy duel the priest. I actually type to my priest to fear him off this kidney shot. And once again, I control the pace of the game. I go back into the double stun, guys. Kidney the healer, cheap shot the DPS. This is a lot of subtlety goes. Even in 3v3, this is what it's going to look like. The only thing that might differ in 3v3 is you might be cheap shotting both DPS targets and kidneying the healer. But usually your teammates are the ones that will follow up off your setup. So I get some burst in the warrior. Once again, my priest buddy here hates fearing off stuns, so I'm going to run back over. I'm going to get a little tap on him. And I'm really just doing a bit of DPS this one because the warrior's not so obsessed with me. He throws the fear here, but you'll notice once again, just going for a re-stealth now. There's no need in trying to force something that isn't there. We got to wait for the DRs. So I'm just going to hug in the pillar. I'm just getting combo points. I'm keeping slice and dice up. I'm keeping rupture on this warrior. And I'm going for a random re-stealth. There's no DRs. As soon as the stun's becoming available again, you're going to see me start to push maybe a little aggressive. So right here, yeah, there it is. It looks like I want to mark for death kidney the priest and stun the warrior. So I'm going to do that, get the double stun, pop my burst, and we'll probably take the warrior here, I would guess. And yeah, it looks like he won't be able to live that. So yeah, he's going to go down through all the pressure. So once again, this game kind of shows a different perspective of what you can expect. Not every game's going to look the same. If you're the kill target, if you have a DK that's all over you, you have a warrior that's all over you, you want to run away from them. You want to pull them out of their healer's line of sight. You want to pull them deep onto you. You want to make them go into risky areas. Whereas if a warrior is just riding your healer, you just glue yourself to him. Use your shiv a lot. Keep him really slow. Give him a hard time connecting to your healer. There's no need to go and run and hide if you're playing with a healer and the warrior is not attacking you. He's attacking your healer. All right, pals. So believe it or not, since that last clip, I just did a 5-hour live stream. Where I live stream daily over at twitch.tv/iPalamore. I would love to see some new faces there. But anyways, in conclusion today, guys, I want to focus on a couple points, and that is some main tips to really hold from this video, and that is in the downtime, play proactively. Think about your next setup, make sure you have enough damage, and make sure you have enough CC that it's worth using your diminishing returns. Secondly, the number one rule to winning an arena is surviving, right? I'm sure everyone's heard the saying, the best DPS in a raid is being alive, because even if you're the lowest on the DPS meters, you're going to be doing more than a dead player. Anyways, I really hope this video could help you guys out. If it did, let me know in the comments. Leave a like on the video. Whisper me in game /kiss, something like that to make me feel good. And I will catch you guys in the next video.